Let's talk about come. It's one of the commands that everybody wants the most of. It's one of everybody's biggest goal is I just want my dog to come. I want him to come when they run out the door. I want him to come when I'm at the park and they go after another dog. It is the biggest command that everybody wants, and nobody wants to put the time into it. So we're going to talk real, we're going to talk deep about come and understand what it is, and there's a lot to it. So I first want to say is I have three actually training videos over on my platform at dogtraining360.com. The one is how not to ever call your dog. The other one is an adventure recall. And the third one is getting and teaching a formal recall with obedience. And that come is in the obedience course. So how not to ever call your dog. Your dog should never run out the door in the first place, because that's just dangerous and a disaster waiting to happen. So in that course, I talk about how to get your dog to wait at the door. How do you get him to wait at the gate? How do you go from the door to your car without your dog being on leash, and then following and getting into those routines. So that course is really good and really fun. So if you want your dog to come when it runs out the door, you should probably teach it to never run out the door. And I'm very stern about that. That is not a recall. That is a training behavior of manners and helping your dog understand how to live with you and what the expectations are, that we don't go bolting out the door and chasing people and other dogs down the road. So I highly recommend that course. Here's the other thing on adventure recall. You can't just take your dog out and expect them that they're just going to come right back and understand what it is. So you need to train this formally. One thing that I tell all of my clients, and very few are able to keep up with it, is keep a leash on your dog. No matter what age you get your dog, whether it's a puppy or an adult dog or somewhere in between, you keep your dog on a leash and attached to you for 2 years. Now, in my other video, I talk about what it means to keep a leash on your dog all the time for 2 years. And so I highly recommend you hop over and watch that video, because I go in depth on what it looks like and how you can accomplish what that is. If you follow that course and follow the leash on video, your recall will be so natural that you'll not even realize and understand that you've actually taught it. And if your dog is so used to being with you everywhere you go and what you're doing, and they never learn to leave you, then when you say come, they know that it's because they've left you, not because they're being punished for chasing something or that they're, busy sniffing something. They just learned that they need to be with you and they need to stay with you and connect with you. It's something that I have thought about and something that I have always dug deep into my training philosophies on why do I always have dogs that come to me. And it's because I create the connection. I teach them that they don't ever leave me. And so when I do call them, they understand that they left me. It has nothing to do with stopping what they're doing. So come, it goes against the grain of the natural instinct of a dog, because when a dog is chasing after something, a ball, kids, another dog, wildlife, farm animals, they're kicking in their natural instinct of prey drive. And when a dog gets into their prey drive, they don't stop and go, oh, hey, let me stop and go away from the prey that I'm chasing and come back to you and put my back to it. That's just goes against the grain of the way they think and what they're doing. So you have got to help your dog understand that it's not about the prey drive, it's not about what they're chasing, it's that they left you and they need to get back to you and hurry, because that's a safe place to be. So I highly recommend get on over and go through the Adventure Recall course, because that course takes you from not being comfortable and confident of having your dog off leash to going out and hiking in the mountains or hiking in the trails and walking around with your dog off leash in safe and appropriate areas. So think about come and think about changing the picture of to your dog, that come is not about coming to me, it's about staying with me. And staying with me can be 10 feet, it can be 20 feet. They just need to be aware of where you're at, and they need to stick with you and connect back into you. Come is a behavior of connection, And when you have good connection, you have a great recall. So there is so much to come that we could talk hours and hours about it, but I want you to understand that philosophy in sticking with me is the best thing that you ever did, and there's all kinds of reward, and we go on all kinds of adventures when you can stay with me. And then I highly recommend getting on over to my platform and let's learn and talk about come over there so you can break down the steps and that you can get your dog 100% connected to you. And then also watch the leash video, because that is the first step to creating the connection and getting the perfect recall.